Hello, my beautiful people. I'm so back home. So back. Hi guys, my name is Italy Ray Lee. If you are new here, hello, welcome to my crazy ass. If you are back, hello, thank you for coming back. I'm currently inside of my new dorm in New York, coming back from NYC, which is crazy business. Very crazy business. I feel very weird, especially because a lot of my friends now coming back from being abroad have went abroad. So it's just like a very weird situation. Anyways, today we're gonna be doing a cute, crazy, long-awaited Q&A. Long-awaited as in since May. Damn, I'm bars. Questions is juicy. Y'all have some really good questions. These is really good, juicy questions. So we're gonna get right into these questions right now. I got this, and we're gonna go through these questions. And yeah, and the first question, these are all really juicy, by the way. So thank you guys for those that ask me questions on Instagram. If you got Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Italy's Blur, ITALYSBLUR. Yeah, do that, period. One of the first questions I got was, are you planning to make a living out of your art? Yes, very much so. Very much so, actually. That is the goal here. Whether it is through spoken word performance, acting on stage, not whether, it will be. Spoken word, a spoken word album, a book. I just feel like my life is going to be an amalgamation of a lot of beautiful, really fucking great creativity. It's just everywhere. But I think if we're talking about focuses in terms of what I want and what will happen, theater acting as in the stage and a spoken word career. I'm saying spoken word career because a spoken word career can look like so many things: performance, writing, workshops, and youth and keynote speeches and all these things. Like, I just want that and so much more of that I don't even know right now. Whatever it is, bring it my way. Next question that we got up on here was, when did you first started writing and who inspired you? I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I wrote this question down because I was hoping that I would remember at this point, but I still have not remembered. I don't remember, like, I couldn't sit here and be like, I wrote my first poem when. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I could definitely tell you I've been writing since I was wee little. And I think I've kind of always really loved and enjoyed words. Like, as corny as that sounds, like, I just kind of, it's always been my mode of expression. And I think it initially started off like a very academic thing. I've always been really good at English and really good in, like, ELA and all that type of stuff. And before, it was like transferring in like music, and I would like sing and stuff, and I still do sing. I guess I could say that what inspired me was like the medium as a whole rather than like an actual person, which is very interesting. Because I think acting was the first thing that I've like tangibly have been inspired by a person, like watching TV. But with writing, there wasn't necessarily anybody like in my life besides the actual subject of writing. And I just fell in love with it, and it made me feel really smart. To be honest. So yeah, and it still does make me feel really smart, and it also heals me deeply. So that's why she stuck, for real. Now this next question, the question is, who/what do you think you were in your past life? I think, okay, I'm gonna give 3 different answers because I'm insane. I think in my past life, I've always said that I was associated with something with water, which is very interesting because one of my biggest fears, also the thing that I probably find the most beautiful, is the ocean. I am terrified of the ocean because it is so vast and big and large and mysterious, but I also think the ocean is gorgeous. But something innately in my heart, it's probably because I'm a water sign, I feel like I was some sort of, like, I don't even know what animal, but something involved with water heavily, like a seahorse or some shit. I don't know, something mystical and magical. Like, I don't know. You know what's crazy? The last couple of days inside of London, we started playing this game. We were inside of a bar, me and my cohort, because we were like seeing a teacher who wanted to like meet with us or whatever. We started like giving each other like what we thought we were in our past lives. And a lot of the things that I got from other people, they said a lot of things that like fly. I got raven, which is interesting. I got butterfly at one point. I think I got a turtle at one, like just things that are very, you know what I mean? So I think either way, I just think I was something very mystical in a way, that whether that's through flying or swimming. I think I was one or the other. And maybe that's why I'm terrified of oceans now. Like, I don't know, maybe like the goal is for me to get back to that. I've also been having like water come up in my life in a very, very interesting way, but that's neither here or there. Or maybe I was flying too. I don't know. Maybe I was a fucking, like, I don't know. Maybe I was like a low-key Toni Morrison or some shit. And maybe that's why the writer in me is exploding in this life. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think I was. What do you guys think that you are? I feel like this is such an interesting, complex question. It really reveals how people see themselves. But I definitely do think I was something mystical, something magical, something that like you look at, you're like, that's magic. Like I look at butterflies and I'm like, that's magic. So yeah. One of the next questions that I got was, what helps you show up in your performance? I'm going to assume that this person that asked this was specifying spoken word, but I'm just gonna speak generally, kind of. Yeah. I think that for me, on just like a simple technical level, what helps me show up the most is breathing. Just like breathe, you know what I mean? If you're not breathing, you're quite literally just like not alive. Like you're like scientifically, literally, like you're just not alive. And that's what helps me show up the most. Like if you watch any of my performances, unless we're looking at very, very beginning performances where I just was not a grounded individual, but especially now, I always try to take a breath for myself before I enter any poem, before I enter any character. I just try to do that for myself because it's the last thing that you're gonna have for yourself before you enter that new space. In a weird way, spoken word is also like entering characters, even though it is quite literally your own writing, depending on the style of writing, of course. But usually, especially inside of my work, because the imagery is so strong and you are entering a world through saying those words. And if you don't allow yourself to breathe, it's like you're not able to enter that world with your feet under you, you know what I mean? So that's what helps me show up the best. And that's crucially just on like a technical level, but also like that's what helps me show up grounded, and that's what helps me show up actually telling the story, whether that's through poetry or through acting. And I highly recommend it, even if it's literally just a there's so many good questions and I don't know which one I wanna pick next. Ooh! Okay. This question's crazy. Hardest poem for you to write? For me to write? I'd probably have to say Navy Blues. Very, very hard to write because I wasn't necessarily understanding all of the emotions and feelings that I was having around him going into the military. I felt very selfish at the time because everybody was like congratulating him and stuff, and I felt very like, why the fuck are you doing that? And rightfully so, honestly, from a place of concern, but also from a place of like, you know, all of my poetry is quite literally against fucking imperialism, colonialism, and that's what the US military is for, unfortunately. Yeah, it was really hard because in a weird way, that poem was like one of the stepping stones of me kind of letting my brother, like stepping back. I think as Black women, Black older sisters will understand me when I say this. We take care of our younger brothers. The weird maternal position that Black older sisters get put in with their younger brothers, no matter how young or old they are. And I think that the release of that poem, like just on social media, but also like me like physically writing it, was really hard because it was me kind of letting go of that position. You know what I mean? It's like I'm no longer your protector anymore. This is your life, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was really, really hard, but honestly, probably one of the best things I've ever written yet. So moral of the story, write the fucking poem. Doesn't matter fucking how hard it is. That was a really long answer. This next question, I got asked in a bajillion different ways. It was like, writing process, how do you write? Like, what's the vibe that you create to write? Blah, 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 blah. And I feel like a real disappointment, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. Because I think something that's a big goal for me this year in particular is to like make myself a writing routine, because genuinely and wholeheartedly, and this is just coming from a real place, rarely, very, very rarely, and the times that I have, great shit has been made out of it, don't get me wrong, but very, very rarely do I sit down and I'm like, I'm gonna write now. Like, very, 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 very rarely. The time that I write is usually at night. That's kind of when my brain is buzzing with the most ideas. Not in the morning. I really do applaud people that wake up in the morning and are like, I'm gonna write. Because I tried that in the beginning of this year and I was like, this is just not who I am. And I realized, I was like, wait, I write really, really well at night. Like, really, really well. And not only like do I write really, really well, but my brain is just more alive at night for some reason. Or before I go to sleep. And so I guess you could say the general setting usually is nighttime. It's usually, I try to have really like minimal noise, like zero noise. And the process is really just a purge. I can't describe it any more than that. It's like, I'm not, unless I'm at like a workshop or something like that, but when it comes to like my individual and process, there's no like, I'm gonna give myself a prompt. It's usually just like me looking at something in my notes app and I'm like, oh, I didn't finish that. Let me finish that. Or it's like, I'll see something, like I'll see an image or something and that'll invoke something and that inspires me. And then I'll like just get to writing, or I'll think of a metaphor based off an image and that'll inspire me. I'm trying to think of like a really good poem example. Well, I guess I could talk about this. This is a really good example because I was just talking about this poem. Navy Blues. Navy Blues was not written and I was like, I'm gonna write now. Navy Blues, I believe, was written in the dust bunny of the nighttime. Yep, it was in the dust bunny of the nighttime. I didn't finish it until like weeks after. But it was just like, and it started off, like a lot of my poems just start off as the first stanza and I'm like, oh, okay, I wrote a little mini poem. And then I end up like dragging it along. And it started off as the stanza, when my brother sleeps, it seems that moonlight only casts on his body. The darkness swallows him whole, but the moon knows where the light is needed. For black boys aren't given a chance to step into their sunshine. And that was simply because it was nighttime, I saw the moon, and I was thinking of my brother. It's usually just like 3 modes of inspiration that conglomerate into one. And that's usually how I function. It's usually something internal that I'm feeling. If you couldn't tell already, I am a Scorpio. I'm very passionate and I'm very like, I had a friend last night tell me that Scorpios just have like this thing where like there's just like a passionate burst of energy and it just like pew. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally me, because it just kind of, it feels like my heart and my spirit before writing poems feels like boiling water, and the poetry comes when the water kind of simmers over the pot and it kind of like blah, you know what I mean? But like I said, this year I'm working on an actual routine to actually sustain myself, and I actually have been working on writing every single day, which I've been really, really good at. And it's happened mostly at nighttime. So yeah, there is no real process, but we're working on the process, for real. One of my sisters in poetry, Fanta, asked me, when did it shift from hobby to lifestyle? Now this I can give you a tangible answer for. My poetry shifted from hobby to lifestyle sophomore year of high school. I've kind of always wrote shit inside my notes app, like I told you since the beginning of time. But sophomore year of high school, my teacher did this really, really cool, like there was this competition called Poetry Out Loud. You guys probably know what it is. There's me. And essentially, Poetry Out Loud is like a recitation competition of poetry nationally in America. and she implemented it as like a lesson. And we did the competition, and this was over COVID, I believe, as well. And I won the school competition, so that moved me to regionals, won the regional competition, moved me to state, won the state competition. And over that time, as I started to like receive the validation from my teachers, from my grandma, who was still with us at the time, from family members, from, you know, the competition judges, all that stuff, and them telling me like, oh my God, you have a real knack for like words and poetry. And I was like, yeah, period, I'm a good actor, you know what I mean? Because in high school, I was also like doing the acting program. But I didn't realize, I was like, oh wait, this is a love for like poetry and like spoken word. It's just not my own words. And through winning that competition, Poetry Out Loud, I got invited to do like several little performances across the state of Jersey, since I was the state champion at the time. And I started to perform my own poetry because everybody started to ask for my own poetry. Because I no longer had to perform Shakespeare, and, you know, from the competition, it just became about me and my personal artistry as like a rising student, which is really, really dope. And that's kind of when it went from hobby to like, oh my God, wait, I really fucking enjoy this, you know what I mean, outside of my notes app. I didn't know that I can speak poetry. I just thought it had to be written somewhere, and that it just stands alone on a page or on your notes app. Yeah, and ever since then, I've just been writing and wording and spoken wording and doing my big one, as you can see. And it's going to continue to be a lifestyle and a career and some groundbreaking shit for the rest of the world. So, yeah. Guys, we have one more question. Everybody say boo. Everybody say oh. Boo. I know. But it's okay, because we're going to have a YouTube video out again. Probably like 2 weeks from now. We're not going to say probably. 2 weeks from now. I'm challenging myself. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have another YouTube video out. So subscribe to make sure that you are on top of that. And like this video so I know that y'all liked it. Because how dare you watch to the end and me not know if you ain't like it. Which I hope you like it, because me like it. Y'all like me? Okay, period. Last question. Advice to young artists who feel discouraged at times. Me being the young artist in question, mind you. My advice, keep exploring is my advice. Keep exploring. I think the problem or the block that a lot of young artists have is that they are creative, you know, they are talented, but people kind of close their walls to what their mediums are. For example, me growing up and doing acting, I closed my walls off from spoken word and poetry because I was just like, oh, well, that's just me. You know what I mean? Acting is the thing. You can have 8 trillion different things. Most artists are multi-hyphenates. We are inside of a world right now that is unfortunately driven by capitalism, imperialism, and white supremacy. Do everything. Do everything. Do everything. If you draw out loud. If you sing out loud. If you act out loud. Do it all and set your own stage for it. Do not wait for the NYU acceptance. Do not wait for the scholarship. Do not wait for the YouTube video to blow up. Do not wait. Step on every single stage that you can. And I'm not just saying that for performance artists, visual artists, all artists. Whatever that stage is for you, even if it's you painting on the fucking sidewalk in the middle of New York, I don't care. Set your own stage and be consistent at it. Make your own audience. If people aren't looking, give them a place to look. People aren't gonna look unless you give them a place to look. I'm getting real passionate now. This is that Scorpio shit. I'm trying to tell ya. Set your own stage. And that's what I've been doing, especially ever since Poetry Out Loud, which is why I'm so grateful, because I had the luxury of having other people give me permission to set my own stage, or not permission, but encouraging me to set my own stage. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have people telling this to them in their ear. Set your own stage. Give yourself your own mic. Give yourself your own voice. Give yourself your own megaphone. This is what I would tell old Italy before she even looked at Poetry Out Loud. You have to. You have to, because especially inside of the acting, I'm going to particularly speak to the acting side of everything in the entertainment industry, because we're inside of a world that is so influenced by social media and money and product. Broadway shows are no longer looking for regular people like you and me. They're looking for celebrities. You know what I mean? you have to set your own stage. You have to put your own name out there. You know what I mean? Like you must. It's integral. It's integral. You must meet other artists. You feel like, oh, I wanna do a short film, but I can't. But yes, you can, bro. It don't take nothing but like, bruh. We are very, very fortunate to have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all of this shit at once, because you have all collaborators at your fingertips. Find them and make some dope shit and set your own stage. That is my advice for young artists. And I'm gonna shut up because I will ramble about that shit for 10 fucking minutes. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all so much. Yeah, you guys are amazing. I hope you have a very, very blessed day. I hope 2026 has been treating you very, very beautifully. I hope that you are getting rest. I hope that you are setting your own stage. I hope that you are being kind to yourself. I hope that I'm also doing all of the things that I'm listening to, because that would be hypocritical of me. It's like, nah, guys, I'm doing that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I'll wait. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys soon.